So I want to take you through this video and help you assess a few crucial things about closeness in relationships. And in this video, we're specifically going to talk about the 5 stages of closeness in relationships, and it can be a worthwhile exercise to decide what stage of closeness you might be at now, what stage of closeness you might be expecting your relationship to be in, and what stage of closeness might actually be the healthiest and happiest space for you to want to be with the person that you're thinking of while you're watching this video. So keep in mind this sort of idea of stages of closeness applies to romantic relationships, dating. It also applies to friendships, family relationships, co-working relationships. And what I want you to see first is just a little bit about what the 5 stages are. So one really powerful breakthrough to have when it comes to the idea of closeness in relationships is to note that there are different levels. Level 1 basically means no contact or very minimal contact with somebody. A level 2 means that we have a little bit of high level contact with somebody, but maybe at a level 2, we would consider that some kind of acquaintance or, high level friend that we don't really share open and vulnerable things with. Level 3 is we tend to have consistent communication with somebody. In this specific case, we may see that we speak to somebody on the phone, once a week or every couple of weeks. We see them every so often. They're sort of top of mind quite frequently. They're a friend, somebody we would consider a friend, or if this is in a romantic context, somebody that we would feel connected to. Level 4 closeness means we're sharing vulnerable things. We've got a pretty deep connection with somebody. We trust them. We may rely on them for different things. We open up. We feel seen, known, and vice versa. And level 5 of closeness means that we have basically the deepest connection we can have. We share our complete inner worlds. Our lives are probably highly interdependent and intertwined with this person. We lean on them. We listen to them for advice, for feedback. We trust their opinions. We deeply value the relationship. And we have a lot of connection and often history with this person. Now, here's the thing I want you to recognize as a potential breakthrough. Not every relationship is most successful at a stage 5 or level 5 of closeness. In other words, we often have this concept or idea that, let's say, for example, you have a sibling, and let's say that sibling is somebody you grew up with, and maybe that sibling has narcissistic personality disorder or a lot of narcissistic traits or qualities. And maybe you found in your history that that relationship tends to be quite toxic. It is no measure of success to have a level 5 amount of closeness with somebody who's bringing toxicity and pain to your life. So this is something that's really important because I can tell you from working in a very busy client-based practice for a long time and now seeing, thousands of students come through our programs at the personal development school. Often what happens is people get stuck in terms of their expectations with expecting that, a successful relationship means it has to be at level 5. It doesn't. In fact, if you find yourself in a position where at level 5, you feel hurt, your boundaries are violated, you're suffering regularly, you're in tears all the time, and you feel like you're on a roller coaster with somebody, that's probably not the measure of success that you want to be paying attention to. A successful relationship and really repairing any relationship means finding your footing. It means being in a position where you feel like the level of closeness I'm at is healthiest for the relationship overall, healthiest for me. I feel like my needs are seen and met. I feel protected, safe. I have good boundaries. And I feel like for what me and this person are available to create in our dynamic together, this is the place I know that we best belong. Now, what is really important to consider from all of this is that we have to figure out through kind of testing the waters a little bit where each relationship belongs in our lives. And level 5 closeness can also, it doesn't just have to be about how toxic things are or, how not toxic things are. It can also represent, when we think about our relationships, the stages of closeness, You may think of it from the perspective of like, well, what's available to you? You may not have a lot of space in your life for level 5 closeness relationships if you are running multiple businesses, have young children, have just so many things going on in your life. And that's perfectly okay as well. But what you ideally want to do is sort of have an idea or concept, especially when you're thinking of repairing relationships with people in your life and sort of this long-standing history. You want to ideally see like what stage of closeness does this relationship belong. So let's use this idea of a narcissist. Okay. Let's use this idea of, let's say you've got a family member. Let's use the example of a sibling who's a narcissist. You know, that's probably not going to be the best. You're seeking stage 5 closeness or level 5 closeness is probably not going to be that best outcome for you. What the best outcome will be is seeing where you feel like the relationship itself functions in the best way. For some people, that's completely no contact, and that's perfectly fine, especially if there's a really strong history of a lot of toxicity and pain and suffering and boundary violations. And sometimes we need that no contact indefinitely or just for periods of time in order to help ourselves feel like we can recover, we can heal, we can do that inner work on ourselves. And sometimes once we do that inner work and we don't personalize people's behaviors so much and we see that they're just in pain and we have more compassion and understanding and we're really strong with our boundaries and we've done all that improvement, sometimes that relationship that was, almost no contact can progress to bi-weekly contact. And maybe we talk on the phone with that family member because we, care about them and have a history with them and grew up with them. And maybe you talk on the phone with that sibling for, once every couple weeks and you've got some consistent contact, but in a high level way, don't share vulnerable things and can have those healthy boundaries. So the idea here is that you have to find your footing, and there's no one size fits all for anybody. It's about learning to take yourself into consideration, understanding your boundaries and needs. By the way, before I go into the last couple of points here, we have a whole course on this that you can do a deep dive into. It's called the How to Repair Any Relationship course. And the whole theme is based off of the fact that not every successful relationship means stage 5 closeness. Success in a relationship should be guided and determined by the quality of that relationship on its impact on your life. So, do you feel fulfilled? Do you feel harmed? Right. And you ideally want to be in a position where you feel like you are fulfilled by the relationship. You're getting as many needs met as makes sense to you in that dynamic, while being able to consider yourself, your boundaries, your needs, understand these things. And, anyways, this course you can check out for free for 14 days. It will give you the major breakthroughs you need to understand what stage of closeness your relationships belong at, and also to learn to consider your boundaries and needs so that you can have more deep connection in other areas, other relationships in your life, and understand what boundaries and needs you have to have with a certain person that you might need some kind of work to do on this relationship. If you feel like you're struggling in some way with somebody in your life and and as you're listening to this, you're probably thinking of one person in particular, that course will help you get guided to like what exactly that should look like, what those outcomes should be, so you can feel fulfilled by your choices and secure and confident in backing your own needs and your boundaries. So anyways, it's free for 14 days. You can check it out using the link below. And as we go into these last sort of points here, you know, part of it is being able to attune to yourself. And sometimes I think we have this societal pressure or pressure from, cultural pressure. I mean, there's many different layers as to where this pressure might come in, but we have this idea that like every relationship in our life has to be level 5 closeness, so much trust, so much vulnerability, so much openness. And sometimes those ideas or concepts can lead to you abandoning yourself. It can lead to you abandoning what you actually need or what's healthy or safe for you. And it's very important for us to realize that when we abandon ourselves and we invest in things that are not feeling good and don't give us healthy results or healthy outcomes, we're just more likely to have more resentment and more frustration that harms that relationship anyways. So it's extremely important to decide like, what are your needs? What are your boundaries? Do the work to get there so that you can have healthy relationships on your terms that empower you and that are also the best version of what's possible within that relationship dynamic between yourself and whatever person you're thinking about in your mind right now as you watch this. So I hope this makes sense. Really important topic. Thank you so much for watching. If you're enjoying this channel, enjoying these videos, please consider subscribing. I put free daily content out here all about attachment styles, relationships, love, the subconscious mind, reconditioning, all these sort of exciting topics. And thank you for being here. I will see you in the next video.